Hello guys, welcome to Haymanager. So in the past 12 hours we've seen a lot of announcements about the European Super League and what it will entail. There's a lot to really unravel throughout this whole calamity of events that have unfolded before our eyes. We see this Super League where they establish some 12 teams, or what is currently 12 teams, to then create a Super League of sorts within Europe that allows themselves to essentially pull away from domestic leagues, champions, European leagues, and just pit themselves against each other, in essence, until the end of time. This is all this is. Big football teams are playing against each other for big money, which just makes zero sense. We're looking at a 3.5 billion injection into each of these 12 teams, who already themselves have so much money and are coping relatively well considering the current climate. It's just a complete cash grab by all these sides. There is nothing else to say about it. Joel Glazer, co-chairman of Manchester United and now vice-chairman of the European Super League, with what could quite possibly be one of the most ill-informed quotes of all time, bar his offside rule quote, which was the only other interview he has given to a media source whilst being Manchester United owner. By bringing together the world's greatest clubs and players to play each other throughout the season, the Super League will open a new chapter for European football, ensuring world-class competition and facilities and increased financial support for the wider football pyramid. This statement is abhorrent and, if anything, complete waffle. Establishing a world-class competition where there's 12 guaranteed candidates or 15 guaranteed candidates they're looking at trying to secure, who can't be relegated nor promoted to it. And then an increased financial support for the wider football pyramid makes zero sense, considering they're injecting this serious amount of money of 3.5 billion into the infrastructures of these clubs alone, never mind the wider spec. To me, this is just simply a cash grab. There is nothing else to say about this. On a day where two significant events were happening, Champions League were going to organise their own realignment of the Champions League. There is going to be a realignment of these European competitions to make them more competitive, to include a further 4 teams, a 36-team competition where we see them put against the biggest sides in Europe. It mixes it up a bit. It'll take place in 2024, so they can tweak it. They can make sure that it's going to be a competitive competition, more so than it is now, which is still an incredibly secure way to see through these Champions League sides and these European sides and get them through these seeded positions. Then we have the Hall of Fame Premier League announcement. At 6 o'clock today, the 2 inductees to the Premier League Hall of Fame since 1992, when it was taken over, to establish itself as the ultimate league of football, the Premier League. The way it's branded, the way everyone wants to come and compete here, it's the biggest league in Europe. It has established itself as that with everything it does. Now that has been taken away, all history is being taken away, and ruins what has been essentially a brilliant 20 years of football for the Premier League. The Hall of Fame, which celebrates what players have done. Alan Shearer has played for Blackburn and Newcastle, a man who has scored so many goals, inspired so many, brought such an infrastructure to Newcastle in himself. Now he's getting dust and mud kicked into his eyes and face, purely for the greed of these clubs to rip the heart out of what is already a great competition. It's sad. The chairman of this European Super League do not surprise me. We have Joel Glazer, Andrea Agnelli, I believe it's Florentino Perez, who is the chairman of the Super League. We also have Arsenal's chairman, who I can't remember the name of, but he is in there as well. It is a pragmatic event. Midweek fixtures starts from August to May. The repercussions of this will be huge. We'll see not only will the Premier League not be able to survive without these top 6 sides on its current structure, but we will see these European sides pull away and there will be zero competition throughout the ages. An American system is being implemented to what is an already perfect game. in reality, there is no other way to really finance this. Financial fair play is relaxing their commitments, so even more money can be pumped into what these Premier League teams will be. I don't understand why you would pull away at such a pivotal time in football history where fans will be slowly coming back to stadiums. We have big events coming up. It's genuinely such a slimy way over the last 24 hours to introduce what could have been a good turning point for European football if done properly and established properly, but now it has ruined what is competitive football. Speaking from a candid point of view, from a Manchester United fan, I myself was born on the day that we won the Champions League, 26th of May 1999. That day will be a very special day for me, not only because it was my birthday, but I was born on the day where history was made in Europe and in the domestic league. A historic treble in Manchester United's history, something that no one really sees in their lifetime, and I was lucky enough to be born on that day. And that is part of my history as well with this club. This whole European Super League rips out any sort of history, abolishes it, demolishes it, and this obscure sort of European Super League takes over where there is no competition. There are 15 founding clubs and an additional 5 who will be deemed suitable to play against these 15 teams. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. It will get overturned. There will be money put into it, whether or not it gets overturned now or it'll be demolished within the next few years. It'll be a serious cash grab. The teams who join this sacrifice their stature in their domestic leagues completely. A European Super League where there is no competition, which will die out within a year or two of viewership completely dropping after watching 15 teams play against each other over and over and over and over again. At least in the Premier League, we see 3 different teams really come up each year and 3 different teams leave. So you're looking at another 6 fixtures which are going to be completely different. It's such a shame to see this happening. It come on a day which could have been so progressive in European football. An idea that this could have been a way to kick the Premier League in itself, as well as Champions League and UEFA, to create a more competitive way and to try and produce a fairer game, a better game. But this now unveils itself as a greedy bunch of oligarchs who want to secure more wealth and see the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It is a shame. It is a stain on football. These individuals are a stain on football, have been so for numerous years, and now we're going to see ourselves essentially in a battle to save football. This really puts fans themselves into a predicament now. They either back the club they have supported with all their heart, the club they have backed since they were born, in a European league which is solely for the elite, or they turn their back on this and commit themselves to the grassroots of football, to which I think will rise up and grow furthermore off the back of what looks like an organisation that simply wants to line their own pockets. It's a sad day for football. It is a day in history that will be marked forever in football history. And today, I think if ever football fans should unite, come together and oppose this abhorrent mess of a league to save football. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Keep up to date. I think you should keep up to date. Twitter is brilliant for keeping up to date on these statements that are coming out. It's still unclear what is going to happen. Forget the likes, forget the subscriptions. Go out there and support local teams. Support anything and everything that is against the European Super League. I hope you have a fantastic day. From me, Alex. Ciao.